All right, Panther fans, how's everybody doing today? So, before we get started with the subject of the video and everything, the first thing, there's a guy by the name of Andrew Levine, and he is an absolutely massive Panther fan, goes to the games, um, been a big fan of the channel since the very beginning. Really, really good guy. And his dad's been struggling the last, I guess it's been a few weeks now. His dad passed away yesterday. So I just wanted to mention that. If you know Andrew, give him a shout out. They're kind of in shock and everything over there right now. And good guy, really close with his dad. And so I just wanted to mention that. I feel for him. He was pretty public about the struggle his dad was having, was giving everybody updates, and he was hopeful that things were going to work out, and then it didn't. So we got you, Andrew. We got you.
Yeah, Andrew, if you're watching, my sincere condolences, you and your family.
All right, now to change the tone of the video entirely. The back end of the video is going to be Stu and I going over Sam Bennett and Sam Reinhart a little bit, and I think they're going to catch some flack because I'm in a pissed off mood anyway. And the thing that's got me ornery is two things. I hurt my back. I'll be all right, but I might have been a little too aggressive the other day. And Mackenzie Weegar. Now I won't repeat what I sent to Stu in a direct message. But he comes out yesterday and he says, I'm paraphrasing now, obviously. He says that the Flames have a better team than Florida. Flames are a better team than Florida. And a couple of things. First of all, some people have said, well, what do you expect him to say, right? He wasn't asked the question. He made a statement. So he didn't have to say that. No, I get it. You want to be positive, you want to be rah-rah about your team. That's fine. That's fine. I hope first time we play the Flames, Kachuk scores 3 on them. That would
Excuse me 1 second. In the
Sure.
meantime, the GM of Calgary already offered him up to Toronto for 2 players.
Is that right?
Rumor
It's
has
a rumor, huh?
Yeah, and Toronto nixed the deal.
That's interesting.
Yeah, and I told you the other day, Huberdeau signed right away. Weegar has
Right.
and it's gonna be pie in his face when his agent tries to get him 7-8 million, and there are no takers. All right. Anyway, last thing, we need to say Mackenzie Weegar 3.8. Like you have like something 2.0. From now on, it's Mackenzie Weegar 3.8.
Version 3.8. I like that. I like that. Yeah,
Continue.
that would have made a really good T-shirt to sell back when it happened.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah. All right. So
continue your train of thought. I mean, just good locker room fodder for us. When they play us, to have that article or interview, or whatever, that quote in big letters in the locker room.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. Like I've said, I tweeted this out yesterday. I've said it in the videos, etc., etc. Just please, I don't care about the economy. I don't care about politics. I don't care if we burn up in a ball of fire because of climate change in 2 years. Just give me a Flames Panthers Stanley Cup before we all die and have to eat crickets for the rest of our life. That's it. I'm good. I've lived. Just give me that so that we can shove that comment right back down where it came from. That's all. That's what I got. Now, well, I'm going to be nice the rest of the day, except to Sam Bennett. I got a bone to pick with him. So, as you know, Stu and I have been going over the players, and it was his idea. Let's do both Sams at a time. And actually, once I looked at the statistics and everything like that, and I thought about where we kind of see their place on the team, it's a really good idea to do them both at the same time. So, without further ado, let me get to the screen share.
Hobbit, Sam and Sam.
Yes. All right. So here is Sam Bennett's career statistics. Let me move me out of the way here. So as you will notice, last year far and away was his career season. And if you look at the rest of his years, okay, he only scored more than 15 goals once. And then the last couple of years in Calgary, obviously that first year there, the last year with Calgary was his first year with Florida. So that was, those statistics are split and everything. But last year was definitely by far his best season. So, which leads me to, where are his
Let's just
his
say
playoff
from the minute he got here,
right.
he was a ball of fire.
Yes. Now we give Huberdeau shit for disappearing. We give Barkov shit for disappearing. We give Weegar shit for making mistakes. But in 10 games, Sam Bennett had 3 points and a 3.4 shot percentage in the playoffs last year. And I don't know about you, but that ain't gonna cut it either.
They all disappeared.
Right.
Just that, Weegar and Huberdeau were, the scapegoats. I mean, Weegar for sure because of his mistakes that led to us losing games, but you don't give Huberdeau, you don't get Tkachuk. So, but somebody, this was the drastic move to shake up the playoff Panthers.
Exactly. Yeah. And the point with Bennett is that I think he kind of got a pass from the fans in the sense because everybody else we're usually complaining about has been here for a while, right? This was, it wasn't Bennett's first time in the playoffs with us, but he's not been around for forever. So, I think he kind of got a pass on the fan base in terms of how he played in the playoffs. But absolutely, 1 goal in the 10 games and, only 29 shots. So it's not like he was shooting the puck all over the place. And in the 4 games against against the Lightning, those are the last. That's zeros.
Look at that.
That is nothing. Right. So for all the grief that we've given everybody else when I saw that, I said, all right, I love the kid and I love the way he plays, but we as a collective group, and player wise, they all need to do better. So now Sam Reinhart, on the other hand, because I find most interesting, like if you look at Bennett, like his face-off percentage, the last couple of years hasn't been great, 46. He had been in the 50s. He had been with Calgary 54, 55, 51, and he has consistently gotten worse. So I'm not sure what's going on there. But we sort of all write him in as at 2C, and then we don't really know where we're going to put Reinhart. So I'm going to bring you to Reinhart's numbers. And look at this. Now the faceoff percentages in a whole is not great, obviously, but he's improved. He was bad in Buffalo, and he's gotten better every year since.
Listen, and historically, we've never really been a good faceoff team.
Right.
We've never really had. I mean, Achari maybe. I don't know. We've never really had a guy that was dominant.
Yeah, like Giroux, where you throw him out there and you just expect, right?
So I mean, obviously, an area for improvement. But go ahead.
Now, in terms of scoring, though, I mean, it's not close between Reinhart and Bennett. I mean, Bennett has scored more than 20 goals. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years in a row now, right? And again, last year was his career season there with 82 points in 78 games. And so, he
just blew it out the window.
Right. And I know you and I have talked a lot about it, Stu, about, especially between the new players and where, and with Duke being out, we've talked about who we're going to put where. Paul Maurice might look at this and say, why is Reinhart not the 2C instead of Bennett? He might, we don't know, but if there's one position that I think we all have written in with Bennett at 2C that I think has a chance of changing, to me, that's it. To me, that's a possibility. And if you look at his shot percentage, now,
I've been
mean,
so used to having Reinhart on the wing, I didn't
right,
remember that he's played center before.
right,
So how about Reinhart and Kachuk?
exactly. Now, if you look at his playoffs last year, again, not as bad, but needs to be better. Now, he did have 3 goals, which is, I believe, one more than Barkov had, right?
What do you do? What do you do against Tampa?
But he only had the 1 assist. Tampa, he had 1 goal, and that's it.
Yep.
1 goal, and that's it. And so again, it's not good enough. And everybody didn't do. I mean, we could, we scored 3 goals in 4 games. So you could go through everybody's statistics against Tampa, and it didn't look good. So, when it comes to those 2 guys, and in the last video, you talked about the possibility of, wanting to tinker with Lundell, right, on Barkov swings. Now I'm seeing a lot of like Leaf fans, Calgary fans, Canadian teams sort of just tossing the Panthers out the window as though because we lost Huberdeau and Weegar, we're somehow going to crumble into this mess. Now I know we lost Marchment, but let's face it, last season it was silly. The overabundance of high quality players that this team had, when you put it all down on paper, it was, I loved it. We enjoyed it, right? But we could afford to lose a little bit, but what we've replaced it with, I like. And for anybody who hasn't watched it, it was a few weeks ago. I did a video where I went over basically the 3 new guys from White, Balsers, and Cousins. I like what I see with there. I see what Zito is doing. So, when I see pieces like this, like Reinhart, who's basically been on the 3rd line, technically he's not really a 3rd line guy. He's a top 6 guy. So the point there is that we have guys that can come in and do the job. And I have a feeling that Maurice might be one of the changes, one of the switches that Maurice makes, because I was talking with somebody about this yesterday where he came in and he said, I don't want to change much. We're doing, I just want to make some adjustments. Well, Zito blew that up, right? Changes are a coming. So what do you think, Stu?
Well, the first thing I'll say is whatever's going around in the media, that's good. Let us not be the team that has the bullseye on its back. Let us be the team that they say is not even going to make the playoffs and surprise everybody and win the freaking cup.
Right.
Okay, so that's number 1. Number 2, I sent you a video yesterday. I don't know if other people saw it. It was on Twitter. It was the NHL Network, Mike Repper. They were reviewing the team, and he said basically what you said, that from a talent standpoint, we took a step backwards. But the players that replaced the players that left, because we can't just count Huber and Weegar. We got to talk about Marchment leaving.
Right.
Toronto leaving.
Right. Mammon.
Forget about Giroux. We didn't have him long.
Right.
Forget about Sherratt. We didn't have him long. Forget about Hay. We didn't have him long. But whatever.
Right.
It's the players that have come back in, and again, it's all about changing the culture, changing the style of play. That run and gun game, I doubt we're going to see again.
No.
I doubt we're going to see what we saw last year. And I hope we don't. I hope we see a more playoff style regular season. Yeah. That makes sense.
No, it makes perfect sense.
That's the way we got it. That's the way we got to play. We got to have the mentality that all the 82 games are just a warm up for the playoffs.
Right. Right. No, we totally agree there.
It's not showtime.
No. Look, it was fun. It was fun. We were there. We won 10. I mean, it was a blast.
Where did it get us with all that talent? I mean, the cup was a foregone conclusion in our minds based on what we saw. Who would have ever guessed, thunk, whatever, that Tampa would just shut us down completely?
Right.
Like you said, the series the year before, with the less team, was a more competitive series than last year.
Right.
And again, we have Ekblad in that series 2 years ago. I think we beat them, but it's all moot. It's all past history.
Right.
Clean slate, clean sheet of ice.
Exactly. Speaking of clean sheets of ice, before I forget, the Panthers are in it's a prospect tournament that's going on in Carolina. The first game is tomorrow at 10 a.m. So I will have coverage of that. And then we play again Sunday at 1. Not sure how I'm going to handle that because it's the exact same time as the Dolphin game. So not sure there. And then Monday we play again. So I will be covering that. And then camp opens Thursday, right? I believe it's Thursday. I mean, it's just boom, boom, boom. We're in.
Yep.
So I don't know about you.
We know it. We'll be doing our first game recap.
Yeah. It's going to happen quick. And don't forget that first preseason game. I believe that's the 26th. It's actually a doubleheader. It's with Nashville. I think the games are at 4 and 8 or something like that. So we'll see how that works out. But in terms of Bennett and Reinhart, I want to see these guys not just improve in the face-off circle, because that's going to have, we've got to get these guys closer to the 50-51%. You want to be winning more than you're losing there, because we have talented guys that are going to make something happen if we get them the puck. I'd like to be honest with you. I wasn't completely sure that Reinhart got as much ice time as he deserved last year. Maybe it was because he wasn't as much on the power play as I would like to see. His hand-eye coordination is so good. Stu, you've talked about that before. He's so good in front of the net. How many times have we seen it as Panther fans where the puck is right there and our guy just can't quite move his hands quick enough before the defenseman figures it out or the goalie covers it up. Reinhart is that guy. And that's another combination where, like, if you can get Tkachuk causing havoc in front of the net and you've got loose pucks and Reinhardt's with him, that could end up being, especially come playoff time, that could end up being a deadly combination. So, I'd just love to be sitting in and just have him and be sitting in on a meeting with Maurice. I just love to know what the hell he's
Maurice
thinking.
And Zito and the other, the other brainchilds of the organization from not from the front office, from the player side.
Right.
They got the chess. I want to see the chess pieces on the board and because we're talking about it.
Right.
You got to know that those guys are moving pieces around and figuring out what. Obviously, we're not going to know until the guys step on the ice and play with each other. Yeah. But today I just threw something out that I didn't throw out before, and that's maybe Reinhart is the guy with Tkachuk. Who knows? Right. That's the right now. That's the unknown.
Maybe that's the hashtag for this year. Who knows?
Yeah. Who is Tkachuk going to be paired with? Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
And the biggest piece of the puzzle really is Patrick Hornquist, right? If you've got, because what your idea the other day with Lundell at top, you can, and then the fourth line with Luosterainen and Hornquist and Lomberg, you could do that, right?
Right. But in my scenario, Luosterainen's gone.
Who was the fourth?
It
wasn't Cousins, because we made the third line all three new guys. And let's not forget Tierney too. Tierney's a scrappy little player as well. we've got a couple of guys that are NHL caliber that are on minor league contracts right now because we have no money for them.
I mean, we can just, we can spitball and guess. Yeah, it'll just be interesting when we do our first, review of training camp.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
No,
I'm
I'm looking forward to it.
going to make every effort to get down there one day or whatever.
Right.
And, usually I go for when there's scrimmages.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'll be real anxious to come back and report what I saw from the scrimmages. But I'm sure we'll get some on ice reports.
Right.
People that are going, or maybe Jameson will post something, or
yeah, he actually posted something today.
Or George will post something.
Right. Yeah. No, we'll have to piggyback off of them, which is fine. But yeah, man, I'm ready. I don't know about you guys, but how many more players do we want to do? Who have we I think we should do Kachuk. I want to get there's a guy that does Winnipeg Jets videos. I'm gonna see if I can't get him to give us 10 or 15 minutes of time to talk about Maurice.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna see if I can.
We need, put your tentacles out there. We need someone that knows this guy.
Yeah.
Again,
yeah,
all I know is he spent many years with Carolina, and then he went to Winnipeg, and that's it.
Yep.
I know he's obviously not won any cups, and people say he's got a losing record, but he's a veteran coach.
Yeah.
He's been through the wars. To me, it's an improvement over Burnett. Big time.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. And
we can speculate all we want, but what would have happened if Quenneville, that whole debacle never happened, and Quenneville was the coach last year? Who knows?
Yeah. Who knows, man? I mean, Brunette was clearly doing the best that he could to not change anything, right? I think
he had everything in place for him.
Right.
Just like I won't say it.
Okay.
Like someone coming in and really, screwing something up that was working real well.
Oh, yeah, no.
We will not speak
of the bald one here. We will not speak of the bald one here. All right, Panther fans, we're getting there. We got a kind of a game tomorrow. I have to look at the roster and see, it's the
I'd like to see who's playing in that thing. Is Mackey playing?
I have to look.
I would think.
Yeah.
Shamsu Sepanow. I can't even pronounce his name.
Yeah, Samskovich, something like that. Something like that. Yeah. And it's going to be streamed, so you guys make sure you check that out. And that's it. We're getting close, guys. We're absolutely getting close. So, all right, you're good. I'm good.
Hit the like button.
Hit
the subscribe button.
Yeah.
Hit the notification button. Oh, by the way, guys, I'm at 977 on Twitter.
Right.
It's at Stu and Boca. So
yeah.
I want to get to 1,000 followers. So if you don't follow me on Twitter, I'm kind of quiet right now, but I post a lot during the season.
He does. Absolutely.
So, give me a follow. Please.
Yep. Absolutely. Please get him to 1,000 so he can get to 2,000 after that.
Yeah, get
all right, everybody.
Bonus.
Yeah. Right.
You ever see that video with Gronkowski?
No, what was that?
There's a video. He needed 7 catches. He needed one more catch.
Right.
To get $1 million bonus. And he went to, Brady and said, I need one more. And of course he got it. And
yeah.
Him and one of the linebackers or the linesmen, whatever, guards. They were doing a dance going, got my Millie, got my Millie.
Nice. Yeah. I'll take a 20. I'll take a 20 at this point. I'll definitely
listen.
Take a $20
he's got Camille. He doesn't need more money.
Yeah, that's not that. Well, that's a good way to end the video.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we appreciate all the support. We'll see you again real soon.